song right quick.
Yeah, pour me some Prosecco. Turn the lights a little more, you know? Feel like some Bobby Womack shit. Say show up and show out. Sneaker hoarder, relationship sinking in water. Two sons got jip, wanted the daughter. New guns, bumping it, my niece there at the altar. Bomb culture, whole over, still MC Ultra. Who the vulture, sipping rum punch, sunk in the sofa. One blunt, was on a hunt, trying to jump with some choke chop. Young Sosa, soloist, seeking asylum. Hitting Sonics on my first album, speaking in volumes. Big body wildin', fashion trends, keep me from styling. Handsome dance, super slim, trying to sleep with the stallions. Any gallon, no demis, my pennies was piling. Far from friendly when you been, let's get you sent to the island. Drill salmon, trying to leave alone wings and bones. Pocket dialing with these phones, I'm the king of the tones. Bring me my throne, the lover. Me and Y guy from Sutter. In junior high, I used to lie when I stutter. Fly with the butters, Fuji sweaters, cop them in colors. I'm not like the others, not bustler. Cat boxes of rubbers, it's over. Your boy sober, sitting back 30 years older. Stare closer, see the tears on my shoulders. Distilling, lost feelings. Need therapy for the healing. From what I see, I could never be a civilian. We're touching the millions. Who to trust? Fooling with lust. I have you doing everything but never doing enough. Just flew to the cut. First Ghana, then Botswana. It's a lot to ponder. Travel back right after Kwanzaa. Quick for Manda. Life short. Visit resorts. Spirits and sports. How you move, never your thoughts. Message was caught. Unwrap. Place in my lap. The greatest is back. Tell the haters, make me a plaque. 30 billion streams predicted. We ain't even mixing. It's that next level shit. AZX squad. Poet extraordinaire. Kept it peace since day one. My word always my bond, regardless to whom or what. Rather unique, I travel through beats. Correlate with crime, most my kind is deceased. Vying for the streets, never those that line up their peeps. It's the ones who will is weak and thirst knowledge and seek. We civil, read through riddles. Court cases lead to acquittals. The chiseled in our presence, they shrivel. Words to scribble. If action ain't applied to assist, was slide in this. From the mix, I survived the abyss. Highly equipped to cope. My nig did his bit on the boat. Out of her wig, his whiz lit him some dope. He home. Only wanted fear, guard and some foams. Alone knitted, yank fitted, and Bugatti cologne. I hit him. When tours stop, I spin the block and get him. Just heard the word that his ops got with him, gave him his wings. A few niggas keep it a beam. He was one, do or die. Guess we all get a run. More money, more murder. Life as we know it. Not how it should be, but it's the laws of nature. Do or die. 3 decades and counting. Who else could pour their heart out and paint pictures at the same time? A toast to the official survivors of the urban corner Cold War. Never compromise. Calculated and conquered. Any and all oppositions that stood in their path. This is preordained. I salute y'all. With God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know how we do. Man, it is 425. We had to set it off with that AZ uniqueness. Yo, AZ got a fire album. If you haven't heard it, Do or Die 3, the shit is dope. He released it on Mass Appeal. I'm going to just tell y'all like this, man. I'm feeling super, super excited about today. It's a lot to recap. But to set it off, this is your boy, T Gold, along with my co-host, Just Cheese, along with my other co-host, Blue. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. I hope y'all out there, you know, y'all in your best dress. Hopefully y'all at that, if it's not rained on, Jazz Fest. You know what I'm saying? The Caribbean's Fest was yesterday too. So shout out to all my Caribbean Massive. Big up to them. I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves yesterday. It was super lit outside. And there's a lot of out-of-towners in the A today. You know what I'm saying? Well, just this whole weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend. So people been turning up. You know, so we got a few things that we gonna run through today. You know what I mean? But of course, we gotta set it off talking about Bitcoin Pizza Day. But before we get into that, first, you know how we do. This is episode 119 of the TCK Web3 News Roundtable. All right, so if you're watching us on YouTube, I'm gonna tell you like this: Instagram was tripping out Thursday. Instagram, y'all were acting right, but today, again, y'all was. So we live on Restream via YouTube and Twitch. So we on Twitch today instead of Instagram because Instagram tripping. So yeah, man, it's been a dope ass weekend. It's been a dope response to the Bitcoin Pizza Day merch that we cooked up. Me and Cheese 3D printed some dope shit, man. He had a gamified activation. You know what I'm saying? He had a quest through the building. That was dope. That rewarded people for finishing the quest. And shout out to Stand with Crypto, man. You know, that was super dope having the live stream for the hour. I was checking out all the other cities and countries. And I can tell you like this, man. We had the most people. We had the flyest merch and gear, hands down. And we had that camera, man. Other places, they were slipping. They wasn't engaging that camera. So we had some good engagement. Shout out to J Chains. He pulled up, you know what I'm saying? And he was out with his wife and daughter, you know, dope too. There were also some sheets. So basically, I saw my art. You know, basically the Bitcoin pizza. You know, this was illustrated for the kids to color, along with the Atlanta Blockchain Center logo. So whoever put that together, Cheese, that wasn't you, man?
No, that was Sarita.
That was Sarita?
I didn't know she took that one, but Sarita and I had talked. I didn't know she took the pizza as well, but Sarita and I had talked like a day or two before, and she had told me that she had created some coloring pages. She took the pizza from the Pizza Dow, and she took a couple other things, and and printed them out on papers so we can have something for the kids to do.
Super dope. Shout out to Sharita. Shout out to everybody who got a shirt. You know, I was happy that, you know, my guy, he was able to, he actually had a mistake that turned out into a great play for me, man. You know, I ordered 2 last minute shirts because I ran out of shirts for myself, so I wasn't going to have that. You know what I'm saying? Not the dude who designed it. You know what I'm saying? So I put in a rush order for 2 more black large tees. He messed up and put them on mediums. So he was like, yo, you know, I want these. I'm like, yeah, I'll take those, man. So the ladies, Vu and Tavy, they got their shirts. You know, shout out to them. You know what I mean? Shirt. Shout out to Tia. Bub had his shirt and E3. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody who got shirts. You know, if I would have had more time, but it was literally last minute, man. I came up with the idea on Monday, actually over the weekend, cooked it up Monday, pressed it out Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? As far as for order. And the design was based on the Bitcoin pizza that I designed. So I'm gonna show it to everybody who is watching, right? I'm gonna show it up to the camera. Bitcoin pizza. You know what I mean? So we use Web3 Wavy out there, y'all. And on top of that, we also had the Stand with Crypto 3D printed keychains that nobody else had. You know what I mean? So we had the dope shirts, we had the Stand with Crypto keychains, which was super dope, super unique, and it has the NFC chip in it, take you right to the standwithcrypto.org website. So I was happy about that, you know what I mean? And Cheese, what's your thoughts, man? You did a phenomenal job with the question and activation, man. What was your thoughts on Bitcoin Pizza Day? I thought it was super lit.
Yeah, for this one, it was really dope. I like, there was something that I was trying to do, and it worked out well. And what I mean by that is that talking to Tia, I know we needed some type of structured agenda to the night, and I know that her part wasn't kicking off until 7, right? So what we gonna do until then, right? I try to think back to our past events, so I was like, all right, let's definitely have a trivia segment, right? So added trivia in there, and then I thought there would be a lot of people here in the Rice Center that never saw the Rice Center before. So it'd be great to have people move around the Rice Center and see what it has to offer. And a lot of people did that and be like, wow, this is a great, cool place. And the activation wasn't the intent of the activation was to get them to do that and find the clues and learn about the Russell Center. So that was dope. And then lastly, we had when we had the care package dropped off to us on Thursday, right? Inside of that box, there was 3 boxes, and I was just like, what are we supposed to do with this? Right? What are we supposed to do with these pizza boxes?
You got creative, Cheese.
And then I was just like, fuck it, we're gonna use these pizza boxes to make a game, and see who can fold the pizza boxes the fastest.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Because I've seen commercials of Domino's, and they make it a fun little challenge. So I was like, why not? But the other thing about that too is like I also in hindsight, I had people phone up one box. I had also thought about the idea of people going head to head, as well as the idea of people folding up all 3. Like you have to fold up all 3. I think that would have added a different level of competition because like you could have gone very fast on your first one, and then you could have ended up going slow on your second one and slow on your third one. But shout out to the winners. Meg, Marlon's wife, came through very early and set the tone.
Dope.
Like she came in 13 seconds right off the bat.
Okay.
And then, lo and behold, he didn't stay, but the Matthew, his name is Matthew, the guy that we got the pizza here.
Okay.
He actually pulled up. Interestingly enough, Lachey knows him.
Okay.
So she invited him, work with him some more, like actually pepper pizza from
Slim and Huskies?
Slim and Huskies.
Okay.
Which I didn't hit him up because I was going to hit him up on Monday, but Tia told me that she ordered some lemon pepper from and maybe I didn't see it, but nonetheless, I think that was good for him to come and see it still and know where he could probably fit in.
That's right.
Next year, because even last year, though he gave us the pizzas, he never actually showed up.
Oh, that's crazy.
So this was actually the first time he pulled up. Because previously I was working with Jay Rich. Jay Rich was the person who introduced me to him.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. So anyway, that was dope. And he actually, I bring that up because he had the record.
Fastest pizza boxing assembly.
10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, yeah, I do this for a living. I know.
That's cheat code, man.
So he did 10 seconds, but he didn't get his prize because he dipped out, fortunately. Nonetheless, it was great, all these activities. People were engaged. And even like so that whole scavenger hunt thing I came up with that night. I never left ABC that night, Thursday. I left eventually at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
But damn.
But I was there. Like I stayed. I was like, all right. I had the idea as we were wrapping up that Thursday night. I was like, I gotta put this together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Cheese. Man, Cheese be putting in work, man. He be staying here late at the Russell Center, man. So it's dope that you actually cooked that up that night, And innovative, creative, I'm gonna tell you like this: individuals that we have here at ABC, man, we are extremely talented, man, and we are multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? I could definitely say probably me and you are probably the most multifaceted people here, in our group. A lot of people, they do their thing and they strong in one particular area, but I feel like, we're kind of like the Renaissance guys at ABC. You know what I'm saying? Multi-talented. Obviously, we got the 3D printed items here, so that's one of the things that we do. You know, we actually create 3D printed files as well as the prints too. You know, custom shit. I'm a graphic designer,
And we
so
embed technology.
that's right. Our shit is tech embedded, you know? So that's always an option if you want to do that. Regardless of what, man, we stay cooking, man. You know what I'm saying? I designed the cool Bitcoin Pizza Day shirts, and it was very, very creative that Cheese was able to print out pizza trophies, man. You want to talk about the pizza trophies? I know you left that part out, man. You know, the prizes. I wanted you to talk about some of the prizes that people won.
Oh yeah. So the prizes wise, the other reason why I came up with the competition for the pizza box was because I didn't feel like there would have been an easy way for us to figure out who gets these pizza boxes at the end of the night, right? So why, rather than having people like try and fight over them, let's just see who wins them, right? So we gave away the pizza box, and then I wanted to like commemorate the pizza box with something very unique. So the story of, you know, the history of pizza boxes changed when they savor. So
Now explain to people what the pizza
do
saver
you know what
is.
the pizza saver purpose of the pizza saver is?
My thoughts on it is to prevent the cheese from sticking to the top of the cardboard box. Am I right?
Correct.
All right, cool.
So at one point in time, pizza companies were just, you know, sending out the pizzas, and the pizza delivery boys or girls, the pizza box would start to get soggy from the heat rising, and then the box would start to like bend in, and especially if you're not carrying it properly, then your pizza could get smashed, or the cheese might start to peel off of the pizza due to the top. So they put the pizza saver in there, right? And I've always, as a child, I always wondered like what was that for, and it wasn't until like I started researching that I figured it out. But on top of that, right, it was just something that I found to 3D print, and I was like, let's give these out as like commemorative things, because I googled. I was just like, because you 3D printed the pizzas, right?
No doubt, the keychains,
Right.
no doubt.
So I was just like, I asked Claude, what other small pizza related lore items can I 3D print? Like just lore, because it comes with a story, right? And they're like pizza savers, and they had other things they can print, but it would have been a lot more complicated. The pizza saver was the least complicated thing that I could have printed out in the amount of time that I had. So I just went back home, printed out 3, like the side, each one was like this big, pizza savers,
No doubt.
and those were like the trophies. But the other trophies, I found those on
Makers?
Makers like a couple weeks ago, and I just 3D printed those like pizza men, and those were for the activations leading up to the event. So a lot of people got a lot of prizes, man. People, especially once we changed the rules to say people could win prizes twice. War Baby walked out of there with like
3 things, right?
or like 5 things.
Oh yeah, he racked up.
Yeah, and then Warberry racked up, and then Fu got some good things. Kamari, he got some good things. Shout out to Kamari. He went through the entire thing. He was the only person that got all of the questions right.
Oh.
He took his time to go through the entire building and find the answer. So shout out to him.
No doubt.
And yeah, so yeah, it was fun. I think for sure. Last year um, we just did a T-shirt pressing,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually prefer this year because uh, there is a level of like uh, there's a level of surprise that you get out of setting up a game and seeing how people react,
That's right.
right? That and then you can kind of like let that kind of take shape and see how people have fun as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to just a shirt press. You know, it's just press the shirt, here you go. Press the shirt, here you go. So I actually think like this model is great for next year. So I'm gonna keep trying to think about some, pizza games.
Dope. Yeah, man. Good job on those prints, man. Good jobs on those prints, man. So we also got to shout out Blue, our co-host. We got to see how she's doing, how she's feeling, and how she enjoyed the pizza day party. Blue, how you feeling? Good to see you back.
Happy Sunday, everybody. It was great. I think it was great to see everyone. I was happy to see everyone. I had an amazing shirt. That was super dope. I really liked watching everybody and try to answer all the questions. And it was really cool, just like watching everybody enjoy the food, watching people around the world enjoying Pizza Day, and thinking about, oh boy, like, bro, you got a Billy, like, did y'all keep that joint? I still want to know the answer to that.
Hold on,
I
wait,
thought
hold on. What answer?
the answer, did they keep the Bitcoin?
Oh, you mean as far as in the transaction, the original transaction? Am I following you right?
Mm-hmm. So I wonder if, yeah, you are.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
good little
So
thing to.
I've never been able to I've never met anyone that's been able to prove or like be able to say whether or not they kept the funds or not, or if they just lost it or maybe spent it before Bitcoin really matured.
Now that's a great question. That's something that we might be able to do a quick little research, little deep dive on that before the part is over with. Now that's a great question. Did they hold on to that 10,000 Bitcoin, man? Because if they did, oh boy, they turned $40 into 800 million, something like that. If they held on to it, crazy, yo, crazy. So overall, what else did you think about the actual, Pizza Day party compared to all the
I
other
thought
cities?
I thought the designs of the shirts were phenomenal, even down to the feel of the shirt. I thought that was really dope. I thought it was creative. I thought like the way we interacted, how everyone was interacting with each other. Everyone was having great conversations. Everybody was enjoying the music, enjoying the food. I really enjoy, like I said, watching the games and the trivia. I enjoy, sitting next to Sarita and then seeing all the other little pieces, like the coloring. I thought it was really awesome, and I thought the kids room was really dope. And then just like just honestly, like just the overall ambiance, and then just like watching the live stream of seeing other people, doing the same thing that we're doing across the world. I thought that was really dope.
Totally agree, and I
I have a
definitely
quick
feel like
update.
we had the most litest party. Go ahead, Cheese.
Quick update here. So to answer your guys' question, and I remember reading this, but just to double down, I just did some quick research. So Jeremy, um, who was the one that was facilitating the transaction, right? Who got paid for the pizzas? He did not keep the money.
What?
He instead used it to travel on a vacation around the United.
What year did he cash out? Did he got that?
This was 2010.
Oh,
Travel around.
Jesus, he's still with the girlfriend?
I mean, I have no idea. But then also, Lazo
Oh, that's crazy.
did not actually. That was not the first and last time that he actually spent Bitcoin on pizza. That was the first. So the very first transaction, right? Everybody talks about that one,
Right.
but he actually spent another 40,000 on pizza with Bitcoin as well.
That same year?
Yes.
Man, so he's flexing, man. He out there spending 50,000. That's what? A total of 50,000 Bitcoin on pizza?
Yeah.
That's crazy,
But in
bro.
those years, we talked about on Thursday. In those years, if you mining, you just accumulating Bitcoin, right? So every 10 minutes, right? So it's to be stacking.
So basically, it just sounded like you just had the Bitcoin to flex. You know what I mean? And then they had to see if the concept really works, man. You know what I'm saying? They actually had to have a real world use case for it. You know, buying pizza. But I wouldn't recommend doing that today. You know, if you do, you can go to Steak and Shake and pay with Bitcoin. But I believe they accept USDC as well. I tell y'all like this, man. Don't spend your Bitcoin on stuff that doesn't hold value. I understand, like maybe if you bought a house or something like that, but if Bitcoin is going to $1 million a coin in, let's say, 10 years, you don't want to be like, hey, I had X amount of Satoshis and I spent it on food, because that's going to be the most expensive meal you ever purchased. You know, so just word to the wise, man. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that you are spending your crypto wisely and transact in stable coins, USDC. All right? So, oh, Blue, what's your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell our listeners, everyone who's listening, that you don't have the opportunity to see the visual on YouTube. Check the comments and you can see like the dope pictures of art designed by Tico and the 3D printing keychains.
Blue, I appreciate posting that. Appreciate you posting that. Hey, you know what? Can one of you guys please post a video? I did a video collage of all of the actual pictures. I emailed it to you guys. It was like the last email I sent it. So just so people can actually see it. I didn't put no audio to it, but it's only like 1minute and 15 seconds. It's about like 60 different photos, stuff that I didn't get a chance to put on, you know, X, because X only limits you to like 4 images a post. So also shout out to Putu, man. We can't forget. Yo, listen, man. Shout out. I gotta give him a round of applause, man.
Yeah,
Yo,
the performances.
D-Web did his thing. He did Crypto Revolution, but they was throwing him under the bus a little bit because he's forgetting them lyrics. Now, me being a hip-hop head and an MC, man, former MC, brother, you got to remember your lyrics, man. You got to remember your lyrics, man. You can't be too vibed out. But regardless of what, our guy Putu came through with the energy. He came through with the Afro beats.
Money.
You know, blockchain money.
Cryptocurrency.
It was a vibe. Check our socials, because I actually put it up on yesterday. All right, so that was like the second or third post I put. So check the video. You can see a dope snippet of the song. He gonna be shooting the video soon. It was super dope. Yo, man, I really like, man. Shout out to Putu. I think you got a vibe with that, man. It's crypto Afro beats, and that was the first time I heard something like that. So that was super unique. It was fire. He had a lot of people bobbing their heads. You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of energy, man. So
I didn't know where he was going at first, but by the end of the song, I was like, okay.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Putu, man. Yo, that's why nobody had a better Bitcoin pizza day than us. We had live performances, y'all. We had custom T-shirts, custom 3D prints, quests. You know what I'm saying? You had a pizza box assembly contest, man. We was super lit. And not to mention, shout out to Sharita having those illustrations for the kids to color, man. So it was family orientated. Can't forget your boy was DJing too, man. You know what I'm saying? I wear multiple hats. Like I said, man, I'm modern day Renaissance, man. I was DJing, had the vibes going. You know what I'm saying? And Cheese was doing the MCing and the presentation. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much laid it out along with Tia. Tia held it down. She was live video chat with Mason and the rest of the team, the presidents of Stand With Crypto. So they were actually tapping in.
Even that was more organized this year. So shout out to Stand With Crypto. Shout out to Pizza Dow. Like everybody was with everybody at the same time, and like when we put the TV on, it's almost like it was like we were like a presidential debates, or like if the energy just felt like we were all like New Year's Day, like New Year's Eve actually.
It's a good vibe.
New Year's Eve, like when you got the commentators checking in on the city to city, and you see how things are going in different cities, and then when it was your turn, right? So that was cool. That's what I mean. Like when it was our turn, they put us on this main screen.
That's right.
And we were like turning up. So and Tia was walking throughout the entire space. So yeah, it was dope.
Yeah, y'all. So if y'all haven't seen the live video, I also retweeted that too. So check some of the prior posts, and y'all can see some of the footage, man, of how we was rocking and rolling, how we get down in A-Town, man. You know what I'm saying, for Pizza Day. So looking forward to every event that we got cooking up for the rest of this year, because that was, to me, the beginning of ABC 2.0. The new rollout. He's in the process of updating the website, so the visuals look super, super dope. Man, new color scheme. We're about to go on tour. We're gonna start off in certain cities in the state of Georgia, and then, man, listen, I ain't want to let the cat out the bag on that one. Just know to keep your eyes on all the events that we got cooking up for this year, man, because I'm gonna tell you like this: ABC 2.0 is next level. So if you ain't on board this go round, man, I feel sorry for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we definitely putting in work. So yeah, y'all. All right, I guess what we can do. Oh, shout out to the other gentleman I met too. I think, what was his name? I think his name was Neil. Gil. That's his name, Gil. Shout out to Gil, man. You know what I'm saying? He came through, pulled up along with Jay Chains. He got some dope footage too, man. So super, super excited. And just know that these Stand With Crypto keychains and the Pizza Day keychain will be in the hands of Brian Armstrong and Brian Armstrong, because I'm gonna make sure that package gets out in one way or another. Brian Armstrong gonna have that. You know what I'm saying? Sony, right? You know what I'm saying? No shirts are evergreen too, y'all. So I actually put the year. Yep, the stat there. May 22nd, 2010. That was the day of that transaction. Right? So yeah, y'all. All right, let's get into it, man. We had some positive news this week, and we also had some, unsettling news if you actually keep up with what's going on as far as extraterrestrial shit. We had the second batch of that released, so, but people aren't panicking. People aren't jumping out of windows, and, people are making meme coins out of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're going to be talking about meme coins a little bit later. But let's talk about what the SEC is doing, man. So when I saw this, I was a little disappointed because I felt like we got momentum with the Clarity Act, So just recently it passed through the Senate Agriculture Committee. So we are waiting for that thing to be approved. All right. Actually, it went through the Senate Banking Committee, and we waiting for it to be approved through the Senate Agriculture Committee. And then after that, it goes to the Senate full on, and you already know Trump is probably going to sign off on it, the same day, So I'm looking forward to that. But the issue the SEC has right now, they pressed pause on tokenizing stocks. All right. So the SEC is slowing down plans to expand trading of tokenized stocks after raising concerns around investor protections, shareholder rights, and the risk of unapproved synthetic stock tokens entering the market. So recently, I do know that Anthropic and OpenAI, they put out a tweet and they was like, hey, if y'all got these tokenized pre-IPO stocks, they're worthless. That's what they said, So, yeah, just pay attention to what's going on in the space if you're looking for IPOs, because think about it. Once the company IPOs, what would those tokenized stocks really be valued at? The pre-IPO stocks, you know what I mean? So it's just something to think about. All right. So regulators have reportedly been developing a framework that could allow crypto platforms to offer blockchain-based versions of traditional equities like Apple and Tesla outside of normal exchange infrastructure. But the proposal was paused following pushback from Wall Street firms and internal regulatory concerns. Okay. So these issues involve whether tokenized shares issued by third parties would actually provide investors with legal rights such as voting, dividends, and corporate protections equivalent to traditional stock ownership. That is a great point. Will you get dividends if you got a tokenized version of Tesla or Apple? So also, while major financial institutions continue investing heavily into tokenizing securities and blockchain-based settlement systems, regulators are increasingly focused on ensuring market integrity, liquidity, stability, and proper oversight before allowing broader adoption, which I get. So when I first saw this story, I was like, okay, I see their concerns. I totally get their concerns because, I have stocks, and yes, I do get my dividends from some of my shares that I have. So I don't have any tokenized stocks. And for those that are interested, the pre-IPO tokenized shares, not just Anthropic and OpenAI, but there's companies like SpaceX that's about to IPO as well. So you might just want to rethink pre-IPO tokenized securities. Any platform like Robinhood or E-Trade or whatever, you can actually buy those shares, right? So having the SEC slow this process down of tokenization of stocks, do you think that once the Clarity Act passes and it's fully regulated into our system, our financial system, do you think the SEC will continue to roll out tokenized stocks? What's your thoughts? Who want to go first? Just Cheese or
I
Blue?
can go.
You want to go? All right, cool.
Yeah. I think the answer is yes. I mean, right now, if you go to Coinbase, you can buy tokenized stocks. I actually was about to buy some tokenized stocks on Coinbase.
Really, pre-IPO or already available
just
stocks?
already available stocks.
Got you.
And I know some platforms that do pre-IPO. But I think the point that is being made is a fair point by Anthropic and all these companies because, and this is why I think regulation will continue to transform because we don't know yet the investors' momentum towards these assets, right? And what makes it a real, especially in the case of pre-IPO, what is a tangible thing that it's tied to, right? And who's allowed to offer those pre-IPO stocks, right? I think there's gonna be a lot of that, and then on top of that, like,
that's a good point.
The dilution of Anthropic or any company, right, when actually IPOs some people who get into it super early may just be like, may just be like diluting the market to come.
That's a great concern. That's a great concern. I love that perspective. Blue, what's your thoughts on the SEC, them putting a pause on tokenized securities and pre-IPO stocks?
I mean, it's really. I think it's more than just like crypto, right? It's what's being challenged, who controls ownership, settlements, and the infrastructure behind like the whole financial market moving forward. Like we've known for decades that traditional finance has relied on so many different layers of the in-between guys, with the exchange, the brokers, the clearinghouses, and the banks, to manage like the transactions and the ownership of those records. Like we don't have to go into class about how blockchain, destroys all of that and provides a different model where ownership, and you can transfer different things, you can give dividends, and contracts can potentially be held through like a a transparent and programmable system. And that's like huge. It shifts everything because naturally that creates tension. Like the regulators are raising somewhat legitimate concerns around the shareholders' rights, but it's all like fluff. The compliance ID verification, whether some platforms are issuing stock-backed tokens without like proper legal structure or like the company involvement, those concerns matter because the public entities are tied to like the voting rights and the reporting requirements and the investor protections inside of like highly regulated systems. But at the same time, many retail investors already lost trust in our traditional markets years ago. And one of the biggest moments was when GameStop era and Warren Kitty's live stream, where millions of people watched like unusual market behavior in real time and started questioning how stocks could be heavily shorted, halted, manipulated, while like retail is like blaming volatility, or there's a different reason why the stocks are going up and down. We're not doing anything. But like when Kitty did that YouTube video, he showed everyone, hey, when I say this word, watch this number change. And it literally did that. And that's why like tokenized entities are getting so much attention, because supporters believe like not only blockchain can create more transparent like ownership with our records, with faster settlements, like you're taking away like clearing auditing and like less reliance on the closed systems controlled by like the small groups of institutions. So blockchain allows like a loan would not magically eliminate fraud and manipulation, because we all know how that go. But it does create a possibility for more visible and audible systems than many parts of like what's happening now. And right now technology is moving faster than the legal framework, and the SEC is slowing down signals that the regulators are trying to determine whether blockchain supply plugs into like the current Wall Street system, which it does not, or whether it eventually like replaces major parts of it, and it totally replaces it. So I think we see a push and pull of who has the most power, and I think Trump's about to show us either he has the power or Wall Street has the power. And I think there are some things that normally would happen, like with the lobbyists and how different votes happen. I think Trump is shifting the way all of this happens, right? Because he has a different type of power and different type of backing from money, where I don't need Wall Street's money. I have Saudi money. So this is a whole thing. I'm going to shut up now because we still have a whole show to do.
Nah, Blue, you spoke that. You brought up some great points. And yeah, you brought up the fact that blockchain will make, Wall Street more transparent. Transactions will go through faster. Transaction fees will go down. That'll be reduced. And also another thing, we do know that when you do tokenize securities, now you can have, fractional ownership. So I definitely feel like I'm 50-50 on this story, and I appreciate both my co-hosts' thoughts, concerns, and we will move on to the next article. All right. So the next story we're gonna talk about, and mindful that is Memorial Day, so we are gonna try to breeze through these kind of quick, but we want to keep y'all informed, all right, thoroughly. So the next story we're gonna talk about, I really like this one, because our government is actually looking forward when it comes to quantum computing, all right. So the U.S. government is ramping up its quantum computing ambitions with a new $2 billion initiative aimed at accelerating domestic quantum technology development, reflecting growing concerns that future quantum systems could eventually threaten Bitcoin and modern encryption. Okay. Led through the U.S. Department of Commerce, the program will fund major companies including IBM, Rigetti Computing, D-Wave, and Psi Quantum as the U.S. competes with China in advanced computing infrastructure. So the crypto industry is paying close attention because sufficiently advanced quantum computers could theoretically break the cryptographic systems protecting wallets and blockchain networks by using techniques like Shaw's algorithm to derive private keys from public ones. So researchers warn that older Bitcoin wallets and long exposed addresses may eventually become vulnerable if post-quantum protection not implemented in time, while firms tied to crypto and cybersecurity are already exploring quantum resistant encryption systems and migrating that blockchains looking into being quantum resistant, or from I remember correctly, I believe that is the most quantum resistant chain so far because they use a hash graph, which is different from the blockchain. So that is a company and a platform that you guys might want to do some research on, because HBAR definitely has a lot of partnerships and they're ahead of the curve when it comes to quantum computing. Also, we definitely heard about, some core Bitcoin developers brought up this same concern that, the original Satoshi wallet could potentially be hacked with quantum computing, and a lot of older Bitcoin wallet addresses, they could be vulnerable. So eventually we're going to have to cross this path. We're going to have to make a decision, well, not us, but the people, the developers specifically behind the Bitcoin network. They're going to have to make a decision in the future. Will they have to make a change to the protocol? And it looks like eventually they're going to have to. We don't know when, but I think the developers should take this very seriously, all right? Because our government is taking it seriously, So I got to ask both my co-hosts, what's your thoughts on our government actually putting $2 billion into quantum computing so it can protect our assets, especially with the Pentagon and all our sensitive classified information. But at the same time, the blockchain is vulnerable. So what's your thoughts on Bitcoin possibly the protocol being changed and our government putting money into quantum computing? Who want to go first, cheese or blue? Blue cheese, I like that.
Blue cheese. I'll go.
All right, cheese, you got it.
You mean they're trying to protect their own assets?
Yes, definitely.
I think, yeah, for sure it's needed. I mean, I think at the same time we're so deep in the industry that we recognize that the government is trying to solve this, right? But when it gets solved, it just will look like something to the regular normal people, right? But I think this is deeper than Bitcoin. Um,
That's right.
this is like uh, the essence. Like, well, at a government level, it's new. We already see how like the age of AI has already played out enough, right? For us to be like, okay, this is what's possible when it comes to warfare, right? What we did with AI in the last 6 months of war, right? That's
Yeah.
just scratching the surface. So, and then before AI, really, there were like Russia and other countries have been sought to have been using like basically impulse beams that you know that 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 shock out electricity to take out electricity in different areas of their enemies, right? So these are old tactics, right? Old tactics, uh, jamming signals, right? We used when going back to the torpedo days, the radar scanners, and so and they had just signals, so they would know how to find us, right? Not new, old communications. Uh, it started as a telecommunications
That's right.
problem, right? Even the basis of Bitcoin was a communications problem, right? The Byzantine fault, right? For those who don't know what that is, it's
I was
like
about to ask you, what is the Byzantine fault?
it's when back in it was the Chinese army military tactic was that there was it was a fault, so it wasn't a tactic because it was a fault. But basically, the way the Chinese would come and conquer sometimes, where they would come in different throws of like horsemen.
Oh.
So the fault occurs when the first set of horsemen out and they determine, okay, this is how we should attack. If the other horsemen do not get a message relayed, your homies don't show up. You right, and you're out there fighting the war, and your homies didn't show up because there was a fault in the messaging. So the protocol, right, the fix blockchain, right, was meant to basically ensure that the message got around to all of the nodes,
Right.
right, and that wasn't meant to solve a war problem, but it was meant to solve a communication problem that was very prevalent and known as the Byzantines' fault.
Got you. Okay.
So, that being said, like I'm just highlighting this all because it's a it's there's just always been a presence of tech, communications, security that were challenged when it comes to wars and a country's supremacy,
That's a big fact.
right? So as we look forward in the technology that we're facing, right, we have technology that is very integrated with our way of life, AI, right, and social media, and now cryptocurrency. So blockchain. So, um, yeah, it all needs to be protected.
Nah, great point, Cheese, and that was a great explanation of the Byzantine fault, so people have a better idea of some of the implications that the developers, what they're gonna have to go through with this decision. You know, Blue, what's your thoughts?
I mean, Cheese really said it. So all I'm gonna say is like this is becoming seriously like a global race over who controls, the future of our digital infrastructure and national security. And for damn sure, we're trying to be first. That's what it is. We're trying to be first. We're trying to beat the people that typically beat us when it comes to tech, because it's not controlled by gasoline or oil, or anything like that. Because tech would run off of that, and it would cripple a lot of nations, countries, and small groups out there that couldn't really compete with us. But now, I won't say we're on the same, we're all at the same starting line, but we're pretty much at the same starting line where you can't cut people out because it's a chip game. And when it comes to that, we have competition. And so, yeah, I would just say that we're trying very hard and spending more money than that's being reported. That's why there's a war to make more money for these projects, so that we're number one. Especially when our White House is like, they're literally saying it from the podium. We're going to be the number one AI, crypto, Bitcoin. They don't realize like that's the same thing, but they're like number one AI, crypto, Bitcoin, in the world. And that's a huge statement, because there are literal cities running off of tech that we haven't even like seen yet. We're just looking at videos and clips, but there are literally places that are running off of this, and we're saying we're going to be first.
Yo, Blue, you brought up some great points on top of what Cheese has stated earlier. Man, for us to be number one, it's a bold statement, because number one, we get all of our tech from what? Asia. All of our tech comes from Asia. Nobody buys tech from the United States outside of Apple. That's it. Nvidia, the biggest company in the world, right? Jensen and that company, I believe they're based in the United States, but he's not from America. And we know the role Taiwan plays in the chips and the semiconductor space. We know that we don't have the precious minerals in the metals that China has access to. You know, man, like you both stated, this is a war. This is an AI war. You it's a blockchain war. And like you said, Blue, the country and regulate any of that. So it's a tall task. And Trump, I give credit where credit is due, but at the same time, the way he used crypto as a grift, so to speak, it actually rubbed a lot of Democratic politicians wrong. That's the reason why we're getting a lot of resistance here in the United States when it comes to regulation. So, but Blue, go ahead, share your thoughts.
Yeah, real quick, I was just gonna say that's why we're seeing like political moves that we've never seen before in our life, right? So I give it to my guy. Like, he got an evil, and just like some stuff, you just be like, whoa, all right, hey, I gotta give you a little round of applause for that. But geez, if you look at it, all these companies, all the tech companies, they were forced to reduce and make a certain amount of chips for the United States, or they couldn't operate, or he would shut like their operations down here in the United States, which is crazy. And they all bent the knee. None of them was like, forget the United States, we'll just service the rest of the world. They all came and like they bent the knee and they were just like, yeah, we'll do it. And it's crazy, even down to like the companies here in the United States. They were outsourcing to other countries, and now the commercials are saying U.S. made. Like even the trucks and like all of them. Like, so it's really interesting to see how he's like, yeah, we're not number one, but I'm gonna force the hand to make all y'all rely on us.
That's a good point. Great point. Great point. And also another thing I want to bring up, Trump brought all of the tech founders to China with him.
Yeah.
And you know what he said, which actually had me super surprised, is he actually told Taiwan, like, yo, you might not want to be, at odds with China. You know what I'm saying? He was just basically saying, like, y'all might just want to play nice with China. And I get that because he basically saying, like, we can't come to defend y'all. We stretched thin. We can't do it. So honestly, think about that, man. Taiwan, literally, the Brits took them over, and that's the reason. It had something to do with the British economy. The reason why they had to square off that little piece of land and it's it back, and rightfully so. I'm not even mad at China for that. Same way, Russia wanted back the Ukraine. Look, man, we should stay out of other countries' business, man, when it comes to territorial expansion. You know what I'm saying? I know Trump was talking like this Greenland shit and all of this other shit, but listen, man, we don't need to be in those affairs. But that was a telltale sign when I saw Trump say, hey, Taiwan, y'all might want to play nice with China. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Taiwan, they a major chip maker in the world, So, I appreciate both my co-host thoughts on that. Y'all actually both smoked that, man. I appreciate y'all. So, we have another story about security. Unfortunately, Polymarket. Hey, did anybody make a bet on them Knicks, man? Yo, shout out to my Knicks, man. You know what I'm saying? I like how we won game 3. I didn't like how we won game 1. That was very sloppy, but it was a 22-point comeback with 7:40 left and off, which was crazy. But I'm gonna just tell you like this, man. Polymarket, hey, y'all need to tighten up. Y'all had an exploit, all right? And we know that Polymarket is built on Polygon, all right? That's layer 2. But Polymarket suffered a back-end security breach after attackers drained roughly $700,000 from an internal wallet connected to its Polygon infrastructure, though the company said users' funds, prediction markets, and settlement systems were never at risk. Okay, tell us anything. The exploit was first identified by on-chain investigator Zach XPT. Shout out to Zach XPT. He stay always on the scene, man. That guy needs, I think he's independent, but that dude needs to get some real paper, man. Somebody need to partner up with him. I think Binance partnered up with him, but he needs to be like leveled up, man. This dude, he's behind all of the exploits. As far as investigations. So again, the exploit was first identified by on-chain investigator Zach XPT with blockchain analysis firm Bubble Maps, later tracing the stolen funds across multiple wallets and exchanges. So according to Poly, stemmed from a compromised 6-year-old private key tied to internal top-up operations rather than any smart contract or protocol vulnerability. And there was no evidence of Oracle manipulation or market tampering, which is, okay, that's pretty good, but is still vulnerable, all right? That just shows us this fucking protocol was still vulnerable. I don't believe how that happened. So the incident highlights growing concerns across crypto about operational security practices surrounding legacy wallets and back-end infrastructure, especially as prediction markets rapidly expand into areas like sports, micro events, and political forecasting. Yo, real talk, I'm gonna just tell you like this. Technology needs to be updated. If you have not been keeping up with AI is fast tracking every industry, especially when it comes to technology. And if these industries, such as the prediction markets, don't step up their cybersecurity and make sure that the back end part of their protocol is secure, you're vulnerable to hacks like this and exploits like this. You know, what if they were that actual platform and start manipulating some of these markets, you know, or manipulating some of that data? This is valid concerns, man. So poly market, y'all need to tighten up, and you never know, that might give Kalshi a one up on them. You know what I'm saying? Because from my understanding, I believe Kalshi is built on AIM, but they do accept crypto. I do believe they accept crypto. Okay, I'm pretty sure they do. I haven't used crypto on that platform, but I do use Kalshi. So I gotta ask my co-host, what's your thoughts on this exploit, 700K, that poly market, you know, that basically their infrastructure was vulnerable to an exploit because they didn't update a wallet. All right. What's your thoughts? Who wants to go first, Cheese or Blue? You wanna go first? Cheese.
I'll go.
All right, Blue. Floor is yours, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say there's no evidence. I mean, publicly say there's no evidence tying the Trump family to this exploit. However, they are the ones who are the creators of both Polymarket and Kalshi.
Blue, can you please repeat that? Because the reception got a little choppy and I want people to hear exactly what you just said. Repeat that again, please.
They didn't want.
Oh no.
They didn't want her
I
to.
don't want Blue to say what she said because she hit it on the nail. She hit it on the nail.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now, babe. Go ahead. Yo.
Publicly say there is no evidence tying this exploit to the Trump family or involving them. We'll say that both sides are tied to creating Polymarket and Kalshi to start. They're listed as investors, or they've been removed as investors. I think they're now I think they may say they may be advisors or something like that, and then say they no longer advise, air quote, but they do. The bigger issue is trust. Even, decentralized platforms, centralized admin wallets, and internal operations can still become clear. And if all the people before them haven't taught us, we need to verify and make sure it's really what these people are saying. Because if not, the Coinbases, the Kalshis, the Polymarkets, Solana, all the stuff, you know what I'm saying? People are going to get ran because they don't understand the difference between a secure contract and then an open joint. And I don't know, that thing called FTX should have been a well enough lesson for individuals to learn from. So this is just FTX created and
Yo, Blue, I ain't even gonna lie. It seemed like once you mentioned Trump and that family, because all of the other statements that you made on all the other articles we talked about came out as clear as day. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe because they just recently said the CIA, a former CIA guy, testified that they tapping United States citizens' phones. You know what I'm saying? They already said that. We knew that. You know what I'm saying? We've been saying this a long time ago. If you was in the hood and you knew somebody else hustling and they phone be echoing too much, you already know they listen. That's how we knew. You know what I mean? So they just actually admitted it. But we think, this is my thoughts, because of what you were saying, how the Trump family has ties behind both of these platforms, they tried to not rug this actual space, but they definitely try to muffle your thoughts and what you were saying. But man, oh man, that wouldn't surprise me because they already saying there's somebody who has to be a Trump insider because there's a particular trader, there's a couple of wallets that has been betting on specific things in specific industries, mainly political things, and they've been accurate, like scary accurate, to the point where it's insider information. So, Blue, you killed that. I gotta ask Cheese his thoughts. And are you aware of the Trump's family dealings with these prediction markets? What's your thoughts on this, Cheese?
I can't say that I am aware, but I mean, I understand where Blue is coming from, and but I really just equate all this to the technology, right? They say it's blockchain underneath, but we have to be honest, like it's not fully blockchain underneath, right? So that as long as that's the case, then there's room for miscommunication. There's room for mismanagement.
Nah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So, yeah, how much of Poly Market's infrastructure is actually built on chain is a great question, Cheese. It's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. And we will just continue to monitor this situation to see how they rectify this, how they correct this, and what measures they're going to take going forward to prevent something like this happening again, you know? And I'm sure Kalshi is probably, you know, ahead of the curve on this by watching their competitor having this exploit happen. So I can imagine that they're probably going to step up their cybersecurity aspect of their prediction market platform. So, with that being said, shout out to Kalshi and Poly Market, man. You know, we need some sponsorships here, man. We need TCK. We need sponsorships, man. Whether it's through different blockchains or prediction markets, you know, we here, man. We giving out good quality value of Web3 information every Sunday and every Thursday. We give you a rundown, you know, at ABC at the Rice Center. You know, Cheese put together great sessions, and sometimes we have guest speakers come in, you know, and keep us informed about what's going on in this space. All right, so continue to tap in with us, y'all, and we will keep y'all informed. So I appreciate both my co-hosts for sharing their thoughts on this. All right, so the story that we're gonna get into now, actually, this is another situation where, as this industry starts to grow and expand, and we have layer 2 networks like Arbitrum, Optimism, you know, these are basically layer 2s for Ethereum, so transactions can go through faster and lower transaction fees, all right, and to take some of the workload off of the Ethereum chain. But another one bites the dust. There is a Ethereum layer 2 called Zero Network. Have you heard of Zero Network? Me neither. Down about 18 months of operation as parent Zerion shifts focus blockchain towards expanding its wallet, API, and cross-chain products. Launched in late 2024 as a gasless Ethereum Layer 2 built with ZK Stack technology, Zero Network aimed to simplify crypto usage by covering transaction fees for users, but Zerion ultimately concluded that maintaining a standalone chain was no longer most effective strategy, okay? So users have until July 31st of this year to withdraw assets before the network permanently stops producing blocks, though the company says all funds remain safe and accessible during the transition. The closure reflects growing consolidation across the crypto infrastructure sector, where intense competition amongst layer 2 ecosystems like Arbitrum, Optimum, Base, and made it difficult for smaller chains to sustain liquidity, users, and revenue. Okay, so yeah, this platform, this chain, only been around for 18 months. Grand opening, grand closing. My question to my listeners and my question to both my co-hosts, because we do know that there's a roadmap for Ethereum to have upgrades. The transaction fees on Ethereum has drastically been reduced over these past 3-4 years with all of the upgrades. Do you feel like layer twos like Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base? I think Base would be okay. Do you think more layer twos will start shutting down the more upgrades Ethereum get to the point where some of these layer twos are obsolete? So, who wants to take this first?
I can go.
I'll go.
I'll go. Go ahead.
Or did Cheese go?
Go, Blue.
All right, he said you got it, bet.
I'm going to say no, only because, and mine's is short, only because of the rules, the ethics, and the standards. I can't remember all the words that Ethereum Foundation put out or whatever. Like, I don't think people will decrease the layer twos. I think we'll probably see an increase of layer twos just because people don't want to have to deal with a foundation telling them how they're supposed to operate if they run on ETH.
You know what, Blue? I'm glad you brought that up because it reminded me of the situation the Ethereum Foundation had not too long ago with the Milady's NFT project, and I guess they wanted them to kind of, all of the developers or the people behind that chain, they wanted to incorporate some aspects of Milady's NFT project, and it caused a rift between the developers who are behind the Ethereum blockchain. So I totally see how there could be some people putting up resistance to how Ethereum Foundation operates. Sometimes they may not jive with some developers in the ethos of blockchain. So that's a great point that you made, that you feel like it'll be more layer twos being developed just because of that very fact right there, you know, of how they may not jive with how the Ethereum Foundation rolls out certain things. So that's a great point. Great take. What's your thoughts on these layer twos closing up shop?
I'm on one side. I'm with Blue, right? Because I think there are a number of legit reasons to have your own layer two, right? Like, and nowadays, if you want to spin one up, it's pretty easy to go and do so with a click of a button.
Okay.
But for some companies that jumped out the door like really early, their prerogatives for doing it may not be still holding up the best, right? Like, the name of the game was to come out the gate with a layer two and see who can capture the most market share of like being that layer two that would be utilized. And as a company, if you recognize that if that was your goal and you're not succeeding, even though you could leverage your layer two for something else, you may just start to think like you don't need it, right? Because
good point.
Your goal was to really come through and capture like entire market share of the layer twos. And if so, just under that scenario alone, I can see a lot of them just shutting down. But to Blue's point, there are a lot of reasons to have your own L2, and to be honest, it's blockchains don't really die. They just get really, really silent, right? But because, like, let's say, like, there's still going to be a core, like, X number of people that still use the network for something, right? Because it's decentralized, never just really just shuts down completely. So there'll be people utilizing it, just won't be majorly, like, considered a intentional project by Zerion.
Well, they definitely said that by July 31st, you might want to move those assets that you got on that chain, but they are pivoting into their wallet. They're actually focusing on having their wallet and, API integrations and stuff like that. So, like a lot of other companies in crypto, they're making pivots. Like we've seen Bitcoin mining company into AI. So a lot of these Web3 companies, man, if they aren't successful, they're finding ways to pivot. And and that just goes to show, like even with Marlon, everything that he's developed and built, whether things worked out or it didn't because certain technology came around that made what he might have developed obsolete, Marlon has always made a pivot whenever there was any kind of major update to whether it's AI or just blockchain. So that is a sign of somebody who understands, like, okay, you're going to keep building regardless of what happens with the technology, and just be prepared to pivot if something happens with that piece of technology that might make what you built obsolete. So that's what I call a great leader. That's what I call somebody, who can be adaptive to different scenarios and situations that might occur, while developing and building stuff on blockchain. Like me personally, I'm not a builder in that sense. I have built a platform, but I had to pay a developer. And that platform obviously is the cryptocrew.com. So tonight, everybody who subscribed to the Crypto Crew newsletter, who has tapped in and subscribed, and so I got to big up everybody who flew to our Pizza Day event. It was a great turnout. If you have social media, and man, this is Memorial Day weekend, so I want everybody to be safe because obviously there's assholes on the road who's gonna be drinking and turning up and partying. So just be safe. I want everybody to have a good time this weekend, hanging out with your friends and family, eat some good food. If anybody having a barbecue, hit your boy up, let me know. I'll pull up, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This is episode 119 of the TCK Web3 News Roundtable. We almost halfway through this year. All right. Summer officially starts June 21st. The other half of this year, ABC got a lot of shit cooked up. All right. So be on the lookout for us rolling out timelines on tour, because we're going to be hitting up cities inside of Georgia, getting them on board with adopting blockchain technology and understanding how they can integrate this to their businesses. Even if they're not doing that, even if they just want to invest, at least they'll be comfortable giving a great amount of valuable information about blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, and AI, because that's what we do. We are educators, we're builders, and we're a great community of people who stay Web3 wavy. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, I want everybody to enjoy the Memorial Day weekend. When I started off this session today, played that AZ, which was fire. And oh yeah, the name of the individual, his account is Mutant Manhattan. Shout out to Mutant Manhattan. That was the individual who pulled up to ABC. It's Pizza Day. He also does crypto journalism, right? But it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So we're gonna have maybe some cross interviewing.
Who was that?
That guy,
Gil? No, I didn't know his
yeah, shout out to Gil,
know
man.
his
We
ex
appreciate you tapping in, and we will definitely see some future collabs and interviews. We got some interviews lined up. We're gonna get J Chains out here for that interview as well. So shout out to those gentlemen pulling up, and we had a nice assortment of people come through. You know what I'm saying? ABC. I love the new direction that Marlon is going with the website. Can't wait for y'all to see that.
It's live.
It's live already?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Check out
Atlanta
AtlantaChain.io and you'll be able to see the new updates to the website. And Marlon, man, he really took the time out to cook up a phenomenal website, man. I was highly impressed, man. Highly impressed. So I want to thank all of my listeners. I got to thank Just Cheese, my business partner, and one of the most, how can I say this, man? You are one of the most, not just hardworking, because everybody give you that title, man. You are one of the most resilient people in this space that I've seen. You know, regardless of what, you constantly cooking, you constantly are innovative, and to have another creative individual in this space that I can partner up with and get shit done, man, it's a blessing, man. So be on the lookout for Mitten Marquee .xyz. You know what I'm saying? We got the website that we upgraded on Shopify that we're dropping some dope photos so people could be able to buy some crypto orientated 3D your favorite athletes, you know, some jerseys, cause best believe I'm gonna have that Wembanyama, I'm gonna have the SGA, I'm gonna have his jerseys, and I'm also gonna print up Jalen Brunson. I gotta do Jalen Brunson, my boy Cat, you know what I'm saying? Call Anthony Towns, man. So I'm go Knicks. We gonna sweep the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we gonna see either the Spurs or OKC in the finals. And I ain't gonna lie, the way we played last night, I was so proud of my team. All starting 5 members of the Knicks were in double digits, and we had people come off the bench lighting shit up. We got shooters, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think what's gonna come down to people winning this championship is the bench. Because the all-stars are all-starring, everybody are performing at a high level, but it's about your team. And that's what ABC is about. ABC is about the team. We are the Web3 Avengers. We all have our special gifts and talents, but we are definitely stronger together, and this past Pizza Day showed that. All right? So I want to thank y'all. I want to thank both my co-hosts. Blue, I'm glad you're back. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate your thoughts and all your commentary and your wisdom in this space. And man, Cheese or Blue, y'all got any closing words before we shut this thing down?
No. Again, I just want to highlight that, you know, we did that on Bitcoin Pizza Day.
That's right.
Yeah. So, looking forward to the next one. We got a good topic coming this week that everybody's gonna love.
What's the topic, Cheese?
ABC 2.0.
Let's go. I like that.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Marlon's gonna get up there and tell everybody the initiative that's gonna help rally more people around the mission and get people involved. So that'll be exciting. But yeah. That's all I have on my end, man. Hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend.
That's right. And shout out to the vets. Our co-host is a vet. Blue, we appreciate your services to this country. We appreciate War Baby, his services to this country, because we got some vets that are part of our ABC family. All right. So, Blue, is there any closing words that you want to say for this Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, I just want to literally just give a round of applause and acknowledgement to both of you guys. You worked really hard, and you did a phenomenal job, and you're consistent. This isn't just like a one-time event, so I just want to give y'all flowers, and I'm really proud of you guys. And this has been a great show, and I hope everyone has a great, safe weekend, and prayers and blessings over everyone.
That's right, Blue. We appreciate those kind words. We thank you so much. We thank you for being a part of the TCK Web3 News Roundtable family, And it's always great to have a woman on board to give her perspective on things, because women see shit that men just don't see. You know what I'm saying? Their attention to detail is way more on point than us. So we definitely appreciate you. And we appreciate all of our listeners, man. So tap in. If you haven't tapped into the actual thecryptocrew.com website, do that. Get the newsletter, sign up for that. And be on the lookout for more dope 3D printed items from us, Mint and Marquee. Be on the lookout for more dope events from Atlanta Blockchain Center. And last but not least, we want to give a shout out to all of the sponsors that helped put together the Pizza Day event. That shit was so lit. So first, we got to give a major shout out to Stand with Crypto. Shout out to Stand with Crypto. Shout out to Tamara. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Tia. All right. Second, shout out to Digital Spenders Club. They came through with the cards. That was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Which is a wallet. That was super dope. And shout out to Pizza Dow. Can't forget Pizza Dow. You know what I mean? For the commemorative items that they sent. You know, that shit was super dope. Shout out to ENS Domains. Shout out to, there's one more I'm forgetting. World Pizza Champions. Shout out to World Pizza Champions, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. It's been a great show. I appreciate everybody's time. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you actually chose to be here on a Sunday morning, listen to us, getting some information, keeping on what's going on through every Sunday. I'm gonna say one before we get out of here. There is a rundown that I like to do to end off the show, just to let people know how much is going on in this space. But just know, every Thursday we do news recaps here at ABC. So I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of some of the stories that took place from last week, Monday to Thursday, because y'all know how this space moves. It moves extremely fast, all right? So I'm only going to read the headlines. So the CFTC and the National Hockey League strike a deal to protect sports prediction markets from insider manipulation. We talked about that. We also talked about Chainlink and Anchorage Digital. They have a pact that they are backing bipartisan politicians, all right, for this midterm election. So I really like that. They're not choosing a side, left or right. They're putting behind both parties. They just want the crypto people in office. So I like that. Also, Bitcoin Depot, which is a Bitcoin ATM company, they are shutting down. All right, so they're filing for bankruptcy. So their stock went down about 71%. We checked their market cap was about $8 million, which is crazy. So Vu, she might do a play on that. Shout out to Vu. South Carolina, they signed a major pro-crypto law blocking CBDCs and protecting Bitcoin mining. Shout out to South Carolina. Y'all doing something phenomenal out there. We appreciate y'all. Trump orders the Federal Reserve to review crypto firms' access to payment rails and master accounts. So the Fed master account, they already have a partnership with Kraken. You know what I'm saying? They got that cracking, pun intended, you know. So Minnesota becomes the first Midwest state to allow banks to offer crypto custody services. Shout out to Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz. You know, you're doing your thing out there. We appreciate you, brother. In Iran, they also pushed a $10 billion Bitcoin insurance plan for the Strait of Hormuz shipping, all right? So that's crazy. So not only that you had to pay with Bitcoin to go through the Strait of Hormuz, they actually got insurance now, which is pretty crazy. There's 2 IPOs that's coming soon. SpaceX and OpenAI. OpenAI is reportedly looking to have their IPO launch in September. And SpaceX, they didn't have exact month, but they did sometime before this year's out. They will be public. And they're going to be listed around $1.5 trillion. That's going to be like the craziest IPOs between OpenAI and SpaceX. Probably going to be the highest IPO we ever saw for a company. And Plume, which is a real world asset tokenization platform, they're partnering up with the island of Bermuda for what they call the first regulated on-chain vault. So they're looking to tokenize all kind of stuff and assets in the island of Bermuda. So shout out to all the Bermudians. Shout out to all the islanders. Shout out to all of the people from the Caribbean. Shout out to your people from Antigua too, man. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Word. Shout out to Mama and Pop Cheese and Sister Cheese too, man. You know what I mean? Word. So yeah, y'all, we out. We appreciate y'all. This is your boy T Gold. We gonna go on that AZ. If you haven't heard that AZ album, check that out. But the song we gonna end off with is called So High. We start at 4:20, y'all, so you already know what time it is. So check it out, y'all. This is that AZ So High off of that Do or Die 3. It's your boy T Gold, along with Just Cheese and Blue. We out. Peace. Happy Memorial Day, y'all. Let's go. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane.
Presidential, copped it in gold. Stop and behold the flies. You can bet it's only bums that's biased. Best believe I'm under some sun with the itis. One of the nicest. Sugar Hill still real, no vices. Bigger bills, lips sealed in his likeness to God. Heaven or hell, a destiny tell. You in the cut, sizing me up, just measure me well. Satin lapel, black patent leather Chanel's, double breasted as if I etched it, finessing it well. I made it, upgraded. Street slang can never jaded. Mention me, speak my name, it's elated. I lasted, any betraying, push past it. Chasing, I'm a part of the classics they see. If faced with any major decisions, just know I'm straight and pray I forgive me. I'm so high, so high, so high, I can't come down. So I'm so high, so high, so high, I can't come down. Four hedge funds, three net sags, two left legs. It's less sad when you left for dead. Let it spread, be a boss, invest some bread. That's what he said. Johnny Dredd, he was off his mask. Bavari bed, rather stack than party instead. Played it back. All our actions don't involve me with fans. A car on the rag, I'm vocal. Pressing politics when supposed to. Posting Wally pics from the old school won't hold you. I'm working, and know me is to meet me in person. Stay dolly, seeking and searching is more. Meek and humble, can move 100 deep if I want to. But know it's best to creep when you come through is caution. 100 mil, a wheel of fortune. My portion buried 6 feet, sealed in the coffin was cracking. I'm tapped in, vapping and stacking, stashing grants and still spinning them jacks. And I'm so grateful. All these days I prayed for. Blessings pour like rainfall. Shower me eternally. I'm so grateful. Hard times kept me faithful. Stayed out when my day was shining things like shine so high, so high, so high, I can't come down. So high, I can't come down.